Are Etsy sales really down in Q3 2023? The Etsy financial report has the answers, and you may not like them. The Etsy Q3 investors report was out at the start of the month, and I'm digging through it to bring you the facts and figures of what Etsy are saying and what they meant. And of course, one of the most important things that all sellers want to know is, are sales really down? There's no denying that for many sellers it feels really quiet just now. Actually, it's not just Etsy. Using the Sites tool on eRank, I can look at the reach of the big three, Etsy, Amazon and eBay, and we can see they're all very low just now. This is unusual. Usually the Christmas rush has started by now. I'm sure it will soon. Although people may be struggling with money, most will at least buy some gifts. But anyway, we're talking about Q3. First, I'll show you some of the figures Etsy has told us about. Then I'm going to do some calculations on them to compare them to easier times. And buckle up because the numbers may sadden you. So the GMS, that's how much sellers made on Etsy from selling, is $3 billion. That includes the other sites. For Etsy alone, it's $2.7 billion. Even with the loss of EL07, that's up 1.2% year on year, but in real terms, it's down a little. There are a massive 91.6 million active buyers on Etsy and 6.6 million active sellers. I keep track of the revenue and GMS every quarter here in this graph. We can see, even with a massive jump in the pandemic, there's always been a bit of a trend where the GMS line is above the revenue line. They're on a different scale, millions versus billions, but you can see the relative trend up until Christmas last year. GMS is how much money is coming from sales, and revenue is how much money Etsy is making. So relatively, although there's a little less money coming in from sales, Etsy itself is making a little more money. So where did that come from? Some of this was from the fee increase, although I assume the Purchase Protection Program refunds are eating some of that up just now. But for this quarter, Etsy specifically said that their increase in revenue was because of Etsy ads. They're making 16% more year on year. This is due to them showing many more adverts on the site. I'm not going to lie, and I'm trying not to be too negative, but a 16% increase in profit when sellers are making a little less in real terms really makes you wonder about Etsy's business model. Who is it they're wanting to make money from? Talking of adverts, in a little aside, Josh did make a veiled hint in the presentation and then named names in the Q&A portion. Off-site ads are becoming more expensive for Etsy. Shein and Temu are, as I'm sure we've noticed, spending massive amounts on adverts, so this is making it much harder for anyone else to advertise. Etsy have said they're pushing for more TV ads where they're more likely to get a bang for their buck. So if your SEO and marketing stats have dropped, this might be why. Etsy did briefly mention the offers they'd funded on Etsy. The first sale offer period they did saw good benefit, but the second, not so much. Who knew? When buyers are thin on the ground, continuing to slash prices is not a great strategy. But anyway, it was free for the sellers and some people found it positive, so fair enough. Etsy does say they're planning testing more offers and new marketing approaches, which again is fair enough. If traditional advertising is not working well just now, then it's good that they adapt. I'm not a fan of a sale, if you haven't guessed yet, but I know Etsy will continue to do things that work overall, and they won't do things that are costing them money. They are sadly but not surprisingly noticing that households that make less than $100,000 a year are struggling and spending less, but those with over that income, their spending's not changed. But it's easy to look at these massive numbers and big graphs. What does that really mean? I ran some numbers and compared to Q3 2020, the best I couldn't get the GMS number for just Etsy, but they'd only just purchased Reverb towards the end of Q3, so those numbers won't be that far off. So Q3 2023, there was $403 per seller. In Q3 2020, that number was $743 per seller. I know that is quite pitiful. Both of them are pitiful. Now, yes, there are plenty of people on Etsy doing better than that, but also lots of people doing worse. But the comparison between the 2 years, so if you started Etsy during the pandemic, then current sales may be quite of a shock. In Q3 2020, there were 68.8 million buyers and 3.5 million sellers. That's a 33% increase in buyers compared to a 91% increase in sellers. Or in 2020, there were 19 buyers to every seller on Etsy. Now there are 13.7 buyers to every seller. So are sales down? In real terms, I will say things are a little harder just now. That's not to say we can't do well on Etsy. Many people don't make any sales at all because they don't have realistic expectations about the work needed and the money they will actually make. So many of the sellers are not directly our competition, and buyers are slow to buy just now, but they will be back soon. So right now, don't change your listings. It is quiet, but your listings may actually be in the right place for when those buyers start coming. Post on your social media to build some interest. If you can, make some new listings, especially ready-made things that can be quickly shipped. Consider different price point items for people's different budget this year. And hopefully the last few weeks will make it up for you. If you want to know what Etsy said about changing the algorithms on Etsy, you want to check out this video here and subscribe for more deep diving the investors report.